Voices. That's
Welcome in, latest episode of that SEC podcast. I'm your host, Michael Bratton. Go by SEC Mike on the Twitters, and there he is, everybody's favorite and on-time cousin Shane. What's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Oh, I'll tell you, man, with another wild weekend in the SEC. Coaching getting fired.
Yeah.
Coaching malpractice. Not in the SEC. No one got fired. Not yet. Not as of 6 o'clock Central Time, but we'll
Still
keep
early.
you posted. Yeah, but man, how are you?
Doing great. Just counting my winnings over there at my bookie, plus the $50 Mike just sent me for getting a bet right. So things are looking up. Unfortunately, I didn't get any barbecue sandwiches yet, but I'm thinking about taking these winnings down there and knocking that out probably tomorrow.
Yeah, so like Shane indicated, they were brought to you by MyBookie. Go check them out. Promo code SEC. MyBookie.ag is a website. You put in an initial deposit, they got you the guarantee buyback, which means up to $500. You put it in an account, and you put in that promo code SEC. It's fully covered, which means if you lose it, boom, goes right back in your account with that promo code SEC. And I already know, Shane, what you're going to be doing with your $50. You're going to be going over there to Tennessee Lays and get you a couple bottles. You know what?
Hell yeah. You know me all too well, Mike. That and a couple of donuts on the way back. But, hey, if you get over here at Tennessee Legend this week, be sure to let them know the cousin sent you. They got 2 Sevierville locations, 1 in Nashville. Not only are you going to get a huge discount, but you are also going to get a bonus gift. And speaking of gifts, if you could gift me with a photo at that establishment, we will gift you with a Legend certificate for Tennessee Legend of the Week. So look forward to seeing that. And, yeah, man, I tell you what, there's a lot of SEC fans. I can see them in the comments. They'd love to have some at Tennessee Legend right now just to kind of wash away all that chaos that happened yesterday, man.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you who was my SEC Legend of the Week, Shane. Shout out, Mr. Ty Simpson. This guy, did he already wrap up his damn Heisman, Shane? What about it? Alabama goes into Columbia. Oh, us against the world. Nobody was picking them. Yet they proved us wrong. They proved a lot of people wrong, Shane. 27-24.
Mm-hmm.
What a game this was. I think it was the best game of the day, first game of the day. It's sometimes disappointing when the first one's the best one, but not this Saturday, Shane, because Mizzou came right out here, scored a touchdown. I said, buddy, watch out for them Tigers. Of course, they didn't score a touchdown again until the third quarter. But Alabama came out here red hot then. They responded. Bama, big game to Boring. He served up another one, Shane. I think he's 18-4 now against ranked competition. What a game here. And again, it was disappointing for Missouri fans, but I don't think they got a ton to hang their hat about. I mean, I think they competed with the best of the best. As you can see, the drive chart here, they kind of shat the bed there at the end. But
yeah.
if you don't do that, you knock off Alabama. And, you still got a lot of season left here.
Yeah, I think that's the important part, Mike, because you realize 2025, there's not another season like this one. I feel like that's the theme, right? And I don't have to say it. We don't have to beat that drum too hard. You know exactly what this is going to be. It's almost like which team survives till November, and who's healthy to move on to the college football playoffs and make a run. So I still feel like both of these teams are still in that mix. But I will say this. You have to have competition like this, Mike. We came into this game thinking Alabama was probably the best team in the Southeastern Conference. And say what you want, Mizzou went toe-to-toe with them. And if they had a couple of breaks go their way, if they had a couple of completions as opposed to interceptions, who knows how this game could have played out. I feel like this is what makes teams better. And moving forward, I think you could take it as a learning. Or you could, like you said, you could tuck tail and run. And I don't think either team's going to do that. I feel like these are 2 very, very good ball clubs that got a lot more winning left in them.
Or
they had a good run.
Because a wise man, Shane, on the watch party said, the show me state You showed me you ain't ready. That was wise words from cousin Shane. Shane on third down. Missouri was 1 of 10.
Yeah.
You're going to lose every SEC game. You go 1 for 10. Bama 6 of 15. How about this, Shane? Ahmad Hardy, Heisman Hardy, I heard, with his damn horses. 12 carries. What the hell was that? 52 yards. Not going to win the Heisman with those numbers. Bo Perbula hyping his ass up. Two picks, 2 costly picks, including a guy wide open waving his hands. Throw it to me, I'm wide open. And he threw it right at the Alabama defender. So, again, we're picking apart here a team that just lost to, I think, the best team in the conference. So I'm not saying they're dead and buried, but there's a lot to work on here. Will Missouri recover? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Well, I'm glad you pulled up the schedule, Mike, because I feel like that's the biggest part, right? Is you played the Raging Cajuns. You played Kansas. You played UMass. These are the games that you've been sharpening your tools with to try to compete against teams like Alabama. That is the downside of having a quote-unquote easy schedule to open up the season. We saw a prime example of this with Ole Miss last year, having those 4 cupcakes, and then, oh, my God, they lose to Kentucky. I feel like there is some of the mistakes that you've probably made against those Purple Bears, you were able to overcorrect just because, by God, you're a better football team, right? But when you go against another team that's as good, if not better than you, when you make those dumb mistakes, you can't correct them. You find yourself down a score or 2, and that's exactly what's happened here with Mizzou. Is they've gotten comfortable, those mistakes got exposed, and again, like I said, it's how do you use this as a tool to move forward? And I feel like Mizzou has that capability, but we've also seen teams fold, thinking, damn, I thought this was the year. This is just another 10-2 season, 9-3 season. What is it going to be? I feel like that needs to be the conversations we have in that locker room this week.
Yeah. Now, how about for Alabama, Shane? Just played Georgia at Georgia, whooped them.
Uh-huh.
Vanderbilt, red hot, undefeated, whooped them. At Missouri, I wouldn't say whooped them, but hell, it don't matter if you win by 1 or 100. It counts the same. You won again. I mean, they got Tennessee coming up at home. They got at Carolina. They got LSU at home. They got Oklahoma at home, and at Auburn, remaining of the relevant games. Have they already faced the toughest competition they're going to face, or do you think it ramps up for them?
No, I think it ramps up just because, and I'm not. Again, I'm not saying.
You seen LSU play? Money Mateer, more like money on the game Mateer. What the hell was that? Tennessee can't stop a damn fly from going down the field.
Well, I feel like, again, LSU, you mentioned LSU and Oklahoma. I feel like those quarterbacks are going to be a lot more healthy by the time that game rolls around. It is at home, so that helps. But again, I'm not ruling out Auburn. We're going to get to them here in a little bit. I'm not ruling out South Carolina. Hell, Tennessee. Mike, any given Saturday, any of these teams could get knocked off. It just depends on what happens, who's officiating, what bad break goes your way. How does the halftime adjust? I mean, there is so many factors that are going to go into every single game. So
but they ain't going to fuck Bama on the refs. They're going to help them.
The worst thing that Alabama could do is take their foot off the gas, because I truly think that they could be the best team. They could be the team that represents the Southeastern Conference, hoisting a national championship trophy at the end of the year. However, they are also a team that could shoot themselves to the foot and give us another FSU, which is now about to fire their coach. You know what I'm saying? We could have that. So I feel like that's the bipolar of Alabama. We don't want that in. We like the winning side. So let's stay over here.
Yeah, I think they should be more afraid, Shane, of these unranked teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, under DeBoring, those are the games they lay an egg for. You know what?
Yeah, no, again, it's a dogfight. It's going to be an absolute dogfight every Saturday, including this one, Mike, the one that's coming up. And we're going to get to that later in this week, but third Saturday in October. I mean, say what you want. Tennessee can score some points. What do you do? Can Alabama keep up? So I feel like that's also going to be a great, great football game. And every single week it's going to be like this, Mike.
And I'm just curious. We got other games to hit on. I don't want to just do your whole rankings here, but believe it or not, I mean, you have been very emphatic with this. You have no say in the power rankings.
Yes.
I don't tag you in it. Hell, I never even mention you in it, yet you get roped into the power ranking stuff.
Yes.
What is Alabama clear, or is even Alabama number one in the SEC if Shane was doing a power ranking?
If I'm picking right now, Alabama's number one. Yeah. Battle tested. I mean, these aren't easy games. This is going on the road, right. and yes, I would think right now the way they're playing, number one.
Yeah, okay, that's what I wanted to hear, Shane. And things could change tomorrow, but or really next week. But
it's funny you say that because it feels like there's a lot of 1A, and then I got 4 teams that are 1B. You know,
right? Well, that's why I said don't give me the whole list because I didn't want 9 number ones from you like we get. But I'll tell you who's quickly becoming number one cousin, Shane.
Who's that?
Royce!
Oh,
Shout out, Royce.
shit.
$100.
Royce.
Good afternoon to everyone. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I want to apologize for sending so many memberships and taking up so much time of the show. I know everyone's here to listen to you guys' thoughts, as am I. But let's have a great week. We appreciate you, Royce. No need to apologize.
No,
let the haters hate, I say.
Yeah, hell, half of them didn't even know how to do it. So appreciate it, man. They're a part of the family now.
Absolutely. Well, you know who was also part of the family, Shane?
Who's that?
Like them or love them. Mighty Texas, come on, buddy. They're part of us now. They're a part of owning Oklahoma's ass, Shane. 23-6, whooping down in Dallas, Shane. And God, you about nailed this like word for word. You said, hey, it's going to be an ugly game. It's not going to be pretty. Of course, it'll be pretty for Texas. By the end of it, you said, and it was word for word what Cousin Shane said was going to happen. Oklahoma led 6-3 at halftime, and then they had a complete meltdown, Shane, right before halftime. No freaking clue what Oklahoma was doing. They had plenty of time. They had the timeouts. They pulled a Josh Heupel. I mean, this is becoming a huge issue in this conference where these coaches don't know how to handle end of half situations. They were playing for a field goal, and then they said, you know what, let's just chuck it deep, get picked off. And that was by no means the end of the game, but it just felt like something was off there. They won the first half, but it felt like they were really losing. And boy, did they lose the second half. Come on, Texas, 20-0 in the second half. Shout out Niblett with the 75-yard touchdown return on a punt. That really bust this thing open. Oklahoma, Shane, 5 rushing yards in the second half. John Mateer, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He had 5 rushing yards on the day. 20 of 38 pass for 202 yards. Arch Manning, Shane. I was told Arch is a complete bust. Biggest joke in college football. Well, joke's on your ass, Shane. Not you, but whoever said that, because he was 21 of 27, 166 yards, a touchdown, no turnovers. And Trey Wisner, gangbuster over here, 94 yards. Each of those was like hard as hell to get, but he got them. Man, Texas. Are they back?
We're back. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, this was a great football game, man. And I'm not saying that Texas won this one. Here's what I would have said at the end of the game, Mike, that either a team was going to win it or a team was going to lose it. And I feel like you could truly go back and forth on this one because I felt like defensively, both of these teams played out of their damn minds. I mean, it was probably 2 of the best performances I've seen up to date. But on the offensive side of the ball, you saw opportunities. I saw opportunities for Texas to expand on their lead. I saw opportunities for Oklahoma to take the lead, and they just weren't able to take advantage of it. So when I walked into this game, even listened to Sark after, he's like, man, and I'm paraphrasing, he's like, I'm glad Mateer's in there because the last thing I wanted to hear is, well, you only won because John didn't play. You know, that was going to be the narrative. But now you're looking at Texas and they're saying, and Sark says it, man. He says, man, we started out 1-1, like they won the South, or they represented the Southeastern Conference 7-1 in the conference. He goes, we're 0-1. Nobody wanted to hear it last week, but by God, we got everything in front of us. And I felt like this was a team that was backed up against the wall and ready to prove it. You know what I'm saying? So Oklahoma, you got to have balance. We said this with Texas. You know, if you can't run the ball, you put all that pressure on Arch Manning, he's going to fold, right? I feel like the same way with Mateer. We got to run. It seems like every rush that was over 5 yards, there was a holding penalty that brought it right back. They just they never could get that balance in there. And as long as Oklahoma stays one-dimensional and Mateer's their only rushing threat, I have a feeling they may have a long season ahead of them, Mike.
Do you think they brought John Mateer back too quick? Because now that's the rumbling.
Yeah.
Everybody was all in there. Oh, John Mateer, he's coming back. Dr. Shin for the Heisman. Now they seen him play like, good God, I should have sat his ass. I mean, how much, they'll never reveal, I guess.
Yeah.
But, how much was gamesmanship? We got to put it indoors. How much is he practicing? They're saying that had nothing to do with it. But I heard someone making an interesting point that, it was probably Michael Hawkins. It's a game plan for Hawkins. And then at the 11th hour, you find out it's Mateer. I mean, Oklahoma, the whole operation seemed out of sorts. What's your thoughts on hell, would they have even been better off sitting him?
Well, clearly he wasn't practicing any good on good, as Brent said all week, because obviously he had the 3 picks, right? And that's what we're going to look at. And I think that first one, clearly we had a guy wide open. And, Mateer says that after the game. He says, mentally, he goes, physically, I was there. Mentally, I wasn't. The eyes weren't there. And you could see that, Mike. I felt like that second interception, that was the most crucial one because it could have resulted in at least 3 points. And all that momentum kind of went right out the window and switched over to Texas side. So, yeah, I feel like even the third one, it was a little behind him. But, when you're looking at those mistakes, was he making those mistakes 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? He wasn't. And so I'm not saying it's because he was hurt and maybe he was sore or, none of that shit. What I'm saying is, Mike, I feel like what hurt him was losing that momentum, losing that when you're in that speed all the time. You ever do that? Like you just drive on a country road 35 miles an hour, then all of a sudden you get on the interstate, you got to go 70. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine? That's exactly what Mateer did. He's been driving on the country road for the last 2 weeks, and now he's got to get back up here on the Autobahn, and he had a little trouble with it. I'm not faulting the kid, and that's why I'm saying there still could be better days ahead for Oklahoma, but I feel like it's just got to get those valuable reps, those game reps that he took this weekend.
Hey, now I'm not trying to kick them while they're down, right?
Yeah.
I promise I'm not. But we keep it real here.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're freaking Oklahoma or Tennessee or Vanderbilt. I call it like I see it, right?
Yeah.
5-1. Now at South Carolina, you should beat them. Should. But what if they don't, Shane? Ole Miss coming up, top 5 team in the country. At Tennessee, arguably the most hostile place in the country to play. And at Alabama after that. We just said it. Power ranking, they're number 1. Missouri beat you last year, and I think they're much better this year.
Yeah.
They've only lost 1 game. LSU. Oh, buddy. I mean, is there a world where we're sitting here? I threw this out there. Do they make a bowl game? I mean, there's a chance they don't, but I think it's like 85% chance they make a bowl game. Mm-hmm. But I mean, could we sit here in a reality where we're sitting here and saying, God, Brent Venables, this guy's got to go. He lost 3 out of 4 out of Texas, Shane, and I believe they've not scored an offensive touchdown in 3 of them.
Yeah.
If let's say we go 6-6 or something like that, which I think is reasonable. What happens? Where are we at?
Man, that's a long way to go from just 1 loss to 5 more, So I'm not panicking yet, Mike. I'm tapping the brakes. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I've got all these
hand hovering on the panic heading into South Carolina.
Yeah, just because I've seen South Carolina do it before. You know what I'm saying? South Carolina single-handedly has ruined many college football playoff opportunities, aspirations. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to get to South Carolina. That's a whole different animal right now. And you want to talk about back against the wall? Shane Beamer and company, they're there. It's at 110 right now. And I feel like this fan base feels like you've got to do something positive to win us back. And that's dangerous, man, especially when when you're going to William Bryce. And I'm not saying Oklahoma can't go over there and get a win, but it's probably the most important game in Venables in his career right now. And the reason I say that is because if they want to get this thing back on track, not only they got to get a win, they got to get a good win here, a good comfortable win going in, because after that it does not get any easier. Ole Miss, Tennessee, Bama, Mizzou, LSU, from here on out, it is top. I mean, it is college football playoff contenders week in, week out. So yes, this is a big game for company there.
And if you're completely one-dimensional and you can't run the football,
yeah,
you don't have a prayer.
No, absolutely. And that's what blows my mind. I don't get it. We want to sit here and pet Arbuckle and tell him how great he is, but I'm watching a football team that just cannot run the damn football. And it blows my mind. Like, Mateer is the best running back in that backfield, and that shouldn't be the case. So if they don't get that right, Mike, there is a chance they lose every one of those games.
Oh, now on the flip side. Mighty Texas, Shane. They're about to go on a run here. I can feel it. They're going to beat Kentucky. They're going to beat State. Vanderbilt, give them a good game, but that's at home, so I'm going to give the edge Texas. Again, my picks can change as we get week to week, but I think we're setting up for November 15th. Epic showdown. Revenge game for them Longhorns against Georgia. I'm just saying, I mean, I kind of hope it plays out that way just for the sake of that epic game we could get. Could you see it breaking down that way to where the next month, Texas is just a nightmare in the rest of our minds about it? They're going to be all back, Shane, with their bravado and their cockiness. And hell, you said it. If they just went out, and if they get to Georgia without losing, I think they're going to have everything in front of them there.
Is Texas the new Bama? They got to have that embarrassing loss to Florida or Florida State, whatever it be, and then, just all of a sudden go on a tear. I feel like that is very, very possible here. Again, what I like about this team is I'm seeing progress. It's not the same thing over and over. Like I complained about Oklahoma not running the football. Well, Texas couldn't either. And then Wisner comes out and gets 94 yards. They got a jumbled up offense, especially that left side of the O-line. It's like they finally figured it out and had some push up front. You know what I'm saying? Now you're starting to see some more weapons emerge around Arch. And you see Sark say this all the time. It's not Arch Manning, it's the team, and we need some people to help him out. And that's what I've been seeing here the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I feel like this is a program that they can obviously use this as a launch pad, but they can also get careless and drop another one, because again, their schedule's not cupcake. There's no cupcake schedules moving forward. It's all SEC now.
Yeah. Hey, shout out. I want to get a couple of these super chats, Shane. Brandon Rodarte, $10. Aggies don't play Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, or Bama this year. These out-of-conference games was an overrated Notre Dame team. Let's pump the brakes on them. I mean, I guess that's fair, but that to me, and we'll get to A&M here, but that's a reason I like A&M. Not playing Ole Miss, not playing Tennessee, not playing Bama, not playing Georgia. Hell, I'd prefer that. Wouldn't you, Shane? If the goal is to make the playoff and get to Atlanta, I mean, I think right now I'm 6-0. I'm loving the fact I don't have to play those teams.
Seriously, they don't hand out awards for toughest schedule. There's no banner in a stadium that says, "By God, Florida played some teams this year, didn't they?" No,
hey, that's where you're wrong, Shane. Shout out John Lee. Fire Billy Napier. He gets the award for toughest schedule. Yeah, that's the reward you get for the toughest schedules. You get your ass fired.
Well, hell, we just talked about this with Shane Beamer. They're looking at the next 5 weeks. It doesn't matter. It's like, I don't understand this. I want cupcake. When I play a college football game, how many times did you fold a few of them teams? Like, nah, we're not going to do this. I'm building a dynasty here. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you're coming into the season and the goal is to win if your goal is to win national championship, then I want the easiest path, right? If my goal is to play the toughest team, well then, what are we doing? I don't want to play the toughest team. I want to play the easiest team so that when we get to the playoffs and play those tough squads, now is the opportunity. My boys are healthy and we have a chance to win. If you don't get to the dance, you can't win homecoming king. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I love this one. Shout out Stacy Jackson. Made it 1 year. We appreciate you, Stacy. And you guys still haven't banned me. Questionable decision.
Oh,
but
Stacy.
I appreciate it.
Oh, we got a list. You're not on it yet. So good job, cuz.
All right, Shade. Next on the docket. We got a lot of games to hit on here. Wait. No, let's play that just real quick. Because I think people are taking this wrong. You kind of referenced it.
Yeah.
But this was Sarkeesian after the Red River, because I was like, ooh, buddy.
Yeah, CJ Vogel on Texas football. Coach, 2 straight years now you've been able to walk out of this stadium without allowing a touchdown defensively. You just
3 of the last 4.
That's right. So thanks for the correction there. Oh, but can you just speak on your defensive performance today and, what you saw in the week leading up that carried over?
Yeah, first of all, hey, I'm glad the quarterback played, and John Mateer is a heck of a player. But I didn't want to come up here and answer, well, what if he would have played? And so the fact that we created 3 turnovers, we got 5 sacks. When you look at our defense, there was a lot of great playmakers today, and a lot of guys did some different things. But the biggest thing coming out of for me today, recruit the Metroplex. This guy goes for 100 yards. Colin Simmons gets 2.5 sacks, and Manny Muhammad got 2 picks. So we got to recruit the Metroplex.
Best talent.
Ooh, buddy. All right. So again, I think you kind of already hint at this. I've seen a lot of hate for his comments there, but I think now you could say, he was saying, yeah, how about that John Mateer? What, all these interceptions. But I think he was saying, we didn't want the excuse of them not having their best player, and we beat them, and that they, because that's all it would be Oklahoma fans be like, well, you beat us, but John Mateer didn't play. You know what I mean? So I think he was saying, I want them at their best, and we'll still beat them.
I mean, think about all that bathroom footage he'd have to erase if Mateer didn't make it out there. No, that's exactly it, man. I mean, you're like this. Like, I want the best. Like, if we're going to play the game, I don't want there to be excuses, because there may be, we're not saying it now, we're not talking about it now, but there's going to be some tough decisions to be made at the end of this season on who gets into the playoffs, right? And they're going to look back and they'll say, well, damn, Oklahoma's 10-2, but they didn't have John when they lost that game. You know what I'm saying? So that stuff seems like trivial bullshit right now, but at the end of the year, it may come back up, and you don't want that excuse or that little asterisk by your win. Right.
And I'm sitting here laughing because you said we don't want these excuses, and I'm just sitting here about these damn coaches, Shane.
Yeah.
Because it was not less than a week ago. Remember what he said? Well, how many people could survive Ohio State and Florida? Like he was making excuses then.
Yeah.
Now that he wins, I don't want the excuses, but
they're all salesmen, Well,
hey, speaking of that, Shane, we are salesmen. Shout out SeatGeek. Go check them out if you haven't already. SeatGeek.com, or just download the app. And we are trying to hook you cousins up this football season, Shane, with 10% off your complete order over at SeatGeek with that promo code SEC10. You'll see it right on the screen there. There's a link in the show notes as well if you want to take advantage, Shane. My God. You thought last week was great. We got one hell of a weekend. Really, like the next 3 weekends here in the Southeastern Conference are absolutely loaded. And if you don't have your tickets yet, you may want to go over there and check them out over at SeatGeek. So you might as well save you 10%, Shane. If you're going to go to the game, go check them out, SeatGeek.com. Don't forget that promo code SEC10 to get you 10% off your full order over at SeatGeek. You know what?
Absolutely, man. We did this. We went to the SEC championship. Everybody's telling me about the concessions and stuff. I was like, man, I'm going through it. I was like, I wonder how close our seat is to it, You can do that over at SeatGeek. Go over there and find out just how close you are to the concession stands, Mike.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you who's really close, Shane.
Who's that?
And he's clapping about it. Come on, Kirby and the dog, Shane. Survive Auburn, 20-10. What a game this was. And, man, we got to start calling this bastard the Clapper, because he was down there causing a scene. We'll get to that. But, man, shout out Auburn. I didn't believe in them, Shane. I didn't think they could make the adjustments. Hell, they made the adjustments. They were dominating Georgia's ass. Right out the gate, they were up 10-0. Hell, when has Auburn ever had a 10-point lead against any Southeastern Conference team under Hugh Freeze? Well, they had it here on Saturday, And then, buddy, and then, fumble on the goal line. Questionable, very questionable. Looked like a touchdown to me, but Georgia recovered it. And hell, if it wasn't a touchdown for Auburn, it should have been a touchdown for Georgia. I thought they completely screwed that up, but they reviewed it, and they reviewed it, and they reviewed it. Again, in my mind, it looked like Jackson Arnold broke the plane, but it was, they stuck with the ruling on the field. Fumble before he crossed the goal line, and that was just so huge. Auburn would have been up 17-0. Credit Georgia. I believe it was C.J. Allen that punched that ball out. But man, that was questionable. But then again, credit Georgia. I mean, they completely dominated. They gave up 237 yards in the first half. They gave up 15 until Auburn's last possession of the second half, which went for 25. So I guess that 40 yards they gave up in the second half. They were completely dominant in the second half. Gave them nothing. And shout out Gunner, man. Gunner led the team, obviously, in passing. I don't like Gunner passing it 37 times in the Southeastern Conference game, but he did it, passed for 217 and led the team with 26 rushing. He was a machine. He was taking so many hits, and he kept getting off the mat. Georgia had the better quarterback in this football game. Jackson Arnold, man, he had some plays to be made. A pass here or there was a little too far. There was a critical 4th and 1. He threw it just a little too high. So I don't put it all on Jackson Arnold by any means, but this is what Georgia does, Shane. They're not as elite as they once were, but they keep racking up these wins. That's all that matters. You go on the road, it's going to be a dogfight every weekend, and Georgia keeps coming out ahead. This was a big win for Georgia, I thought.
Oh, Mike. This was a tough watch, right? And I would say this. I felt like Auburn was going to win this game. I really did. After that, maybe after the first quarter, going into that second quarter, I said, damn, Georgia just can't get it together. And I felt like they had this one. And then all of a sudden the wind, the air, the life, the soul got sucked right out of Jordan Hare when we had the infamous, I don't know what they called it. They got funny names and cool names for all the miracles that happened down there, but they don't have one yet for the nightmare, I don't think. But this one was... Yeah, I felt like this was a kind of a bullshit call. It was, man. Listen, we talked about the Oklahoma game. We talked about all that, right? And I go back to the Ole Miss. You remember that the kickoff touched his finger and stuff,
Right.
There was the spiked ball. Auburn's had some breaks go the opposite way. So maybe this is just a balancing thing, but I really do feel like that was a touchdown, and they could have been sitting there 17-0. And I don't think Georgia would have scored a field goal before the half. I really just felt like that crowd would have been all into it. But when they came out that second half, to say that Auburn just didn't have an opportunity, you'd be lying to yourself, because there were still moments in that second half Auburn could have pulled back the reins. They could have got it back, and they didn't. And that, for me, is why I give Hugh Freeze a hard time. Like, I give the officiating a tough time over the first half, but that second half, there was moments when your coach could have got this thing rolling, because there was some things working against Georgia. So just a crazy game. I was surprised nobody threw anything. Kudos to the fans for not doing anything dumb here, because I was about to say they were about to storm the field at half to get them damn officials.
Right, and I didn't even get to the clapper. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to break it down without actually watching the play. But Kirby's running at a ref, doing this right here. And if you're just listening back, he's smashing
looking at the clock,
his fingertips, smashing them into the palm of his hand. Mm-hmm. And he said, "I didn't call timeout." And they stopped the game. It was about the play clock was at 1. It was expiring. They stopped the game. Kirby said, "No, they're clapping. I was trying to get your attention. They're clapping." Which they may have been doing, but I don't know that you can run at an official and call timeout and then say, hey, they were clapping, don't call timeout on me. But never in my life have I seen anything like that. And so here's Kirby breaking it down. Shane, you let me know if he's this man full of it or what.
Yeah, they're clapping. So I told him before the game, if these guys clap, it's a penalty. they can't clap because it will false snap. I've lost games on that before in the stadium. And I told them, I said, if they clap, I'm going to tell you. I got somebody in the box watching every play. They were clapping. So I ran over to him and said, they're clapping. They're clapping. And he thought I called timeout. And so I wanted to make sure he understood it. Go lip read. Because I'm screaming, they're clapping, they're clapping. I didn't need a timeout because we were going to get it off before the shot clock. It was 2-1, and we were going to get it off before the play clock ended, and I didn't need a timeout. It was the fact that they were clapping. I wanted them to call it because it's a penalty.
Clapping, Shane. I'm clapping.
He was clapping. He was clapping. Yeah, he was clapping all right. No, that was, and if you see the video, it's floating out there. You don't pull it up. It was clear as day, timeout. It's like Kirby all of a sudden forgot there wasn't cameras. Yeah, it's funny. If it's a first down, there's no cameras. We're trying to figure out where the ball went out of bounds. But by God, if there's somebody called timeout, I mean clapping on the sideline. Yes, we got you on tape. You've been busted. Your mom's going to be mad now. You heard him what he said after the game. He was talking about that. What'd she tell you about lying, Kirby?
And then, Shane, I mean, everybody knows, I think, at this point watching this show, I'm not the biggest Hugh Freeze fan, to put it kindly. But even I, Shane, I'm starting to feel bad for the man. Here, Kirby asked about the officiating. You go back to Oklahoma, and now this one. I mean, there was... I don't know. I'll let you listen here.
Once this season, the SEC's already had to release a statement to say how they messed up. I mean, when does Auburn step up and try to make a change for plays that clearly were incorrect that didn't go your way?
I have no clue. It's not the Auburn part I'm worried about. I know who our president and administration and AD are and how they feel, and sure feels like we're not getting many breaks, and it's difficult to take for sure. Even on the, there was a lot of things, but I felt like we broke the plane. All you have to do is the nose of the ball just has to break the plane. And I thought that was had a pretty good shot of that but it didn't go our way, and then. I don't know how they either should have had a delay a game or a timeout, and not a whole new play. I'm still not sure what happened there, but there's a lot of times that I make bad calls and officials do the same, but it certainly feels like we're not getting many of the breaks.
Man,
poor Hugh Freeze.
How many of the refs listen to this show and they're like, Mike's right about that guy? It feels like they're out to get him. I'm just saying,
I hate it for the fans, right?
Yeah.
I could. Hugh Freeze coming out here saying, "Poor woe's me," whatever, man. The fact you got another opportunity to coach in the SEC, you've got more than enough, right? I just hate it for these fans to go through all these shitty coaches to get to this point. And honestly, Mike, if you're just being truthful here, could you see Auburn undefeated up to this point?
Yeah. I mean, hell, not a couple plays away from it.
That's what's gut wrenching. If you're a fan, is the fact that you're sitting here 3-3. You're out. You're not making the playoffs. And this was the hump that I told you, Mike. You got to get at least 2 of these, right? And you lose 3 of them. So, yeah, I feel like that's the problem, and that's why, it sucks for the fans because they've actually got a good football team. The quarterback, he's up and down. We know Jackson is what he is, right? But this defense may be one of the best, if not the best in the country right now, and they've kept them in every single football game if they just get some sort of life on the offensive side, and they're not getting enough. And then you factor the bad breaks and the shitty officiating. I mean, it does suck, but I could care less about Hugh Freeze. I just feel bad for the Auburn fans.
Yeah. But does any of this potentially save him? Because it's a little bit different if you're getting your ass stomped every week, but you got the AD out here fighting with the refs. I mean, I can't imagine they're going to be like, you know what, Hugh's got to go. You know what I mean? Where You got Missouri come now. Again, you get whooped by Missouri, maybe is a different story. You get whooped by Bobby Petrino, different story. But they're fighting hard. Defense playing their ass off. Mm-hmm. And hell, like I said, even I thought the offensive game plan was excellent. But here's the deal. I forgot. I wrote this down. And again, I'm biased. Hey, someone called us out on one of the recent shows. Like, I can't watch these biased people. I mean, everybody's biased.
Yeah.
We just tell you about it. So, that's the truth, right?
Yeah.
So, again, here's the deal I see with Auburn. When something goes wrong, like the Oklahoma play or this, fumble at the goal line or whatever, they can't respond to it. Mm-hmm. They don't have toughness, mental toughness, and I think it's because they don't have leadership. That's what I think. I think they don't have the right leader. And when something starts going wrong, blame this person, blame that person. We all know it. He's fired everybody he's hired down there. Mm-hmm. Now he's got new people. Now he's fired all the play callers, and now he's a play caller. Last year it was a quarterback. When you are weak at leader, you're going to have a weak football team. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying because I think the defense playing their ass off. I don't think the defense is weak by any means, but I think that's Auburn's biggest issue. When something goes wrong, the whole thing starts to cave in on itself because I think they have poor leadership. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
That's fair. I get that. I can get behind that because it does seem like it just seems like it's too much sometimes. And if you're feeling it watching it, I can only imagine how you feel on that sideline or in that locker room, like here we go again. It's almost that's what it feels like. And yes, it's not just the officials and it's not just Kirby's fake timeout. There's other things in this game that we got to look at. Why did you not win? Well, you didn't win because your offense, whether who's calling first down, second down, whatever, it's not working, man. It's not working. We're not getting anything. We'll get like little flashes, but I don't know, man. I just feel like there's got to be some sort of change. And, they asked him after the game. I do like the Auburn media team down there. They don't beat around the bush. They're straightforward, man. Are we going to change something? And I feel like maybe this is a football team that looks for maybe that change, that little splash, that little just something to bring life into that offense.
Yeah, and then let me ask you real quick about Georgia. Are you more confident about them or less confident? Because I can see it going both ways. But personally, I think, hey, you keep surviving advance, as they say, particularly on the road. That means more to me than anything. But, college game day, we'll talk about it all week. Are you more confident or less confident after this performance by Georgia?
I'm not too confident with Georgia. In fact, if anybody should be pissed off, it should be Georgia fans. I mean, you just go out here and you pick up Noah, you pick up Branch, you pick up who else? I mean, you come in here and say, "Hey, we're going to create some explosive plays. We're going to be," and then Kirby comes out at the end of the game. He says, "We're just not designed that way. We're designed to drag out time of possession and run with our quarterback." He even said that, and I mean. Like, what are we doing? When did we accept this down in Athens? That's what blows my mind is you got a university right now that is one of the top 5 that can acquire talent. Say it is what it is. Georgia will always be able to bring talent to Athens. And then you turn around and you feed me this bullshit that this is the offense that we are going to get this year. And that blows my mind. That's who should be upset right now is Georgia fans because this is a football team that has aspirations to be national champions again. And they're not going to get there playing keep away from Auburn teams. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you're heated.
I know. I'm watching. So I'm rewatching the game today, and here's what I do: I watch the game, and then I watch it again, but as like if I'm a Georgia fan, and I was like, why? You saw Delp last week. Why is he not getting the ball more? I see Cash like every now and then just to have an explosive play, and I'm like, why? And then they show me Noah, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot he's on this team. why are you going to get recruits in? That's the thing that ultimately drives me. Like, you're getting them now, but how many of these stud receivers are going to come to your team if this is what's going to happen and they're going to have trouble getting a draft spot? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're selling me something. Let me perform. Let me do what I want to do. And it blows my mind. That talent, God, give that to 4 other coaches in the SEC. They'd have 50 points a game.
See, I'm complete opposite. I think they're doing a good job down there.
Yeah, good. Yeah, they had negative -6 yards rushing by the end of the second quarter. Yeah, they're killing it, man.
Auburn had 2 weeks to prepare, Shane. They were ready.
Oh my gosh, no, that was just, it's embarrassing. And then my coach over here lying about timeouts. It should not come down to whether that was a timeout or clapping.
Hey, final thing, Shane.
Yeah,
we always hear Jordan Hare, elite home field. They're 2-8 at home against Power 4 teams under Hugh Freeze. 2-8. That ain't good. That ain't good to you. All right, you know what? Speaking of good, Shane, can't believe we went this long without talking one of the best damn teams in the country. Aggies, come on down, Shane. 6-0 on the season by beating Florida 34-17. Lock of the week. Double cousin curse. Not these Aggies can't be cursed, Shane, thanks to this tremendous defense. Oh, buddy, Shane, they are in SEC play. People keep throwing this stat at me here, and they should, because this is outstanding. They have allowed 2 of 33 third downs to be converted on this defense this year, Shane. That is just absolutely insane. A&M leads the country in third down / fourth down conversion rates. Florida was 1 of 10 on third down in this one. This was, and it was funny because right out the gate, both teams were red hot, scoring. And then they went about 2 quarters without scoring again. I don't know how the hell that happened, but man, both teams came out ready to play.
Yeah.
A&M made the adjustments on the defensive side of the football. Florida made the adjustments on the defensive side of the football. And really, we just got, I thought, 2 quality teams. Florida's back against the wall, but it wasn't enough because Aggies, they had 100,000 screaming fans and just going wild down here. And man, they took care of business. This is another one, Shane, where I feel like old Jimbo Aggies would have blown this game.
Yeah.
After getting down early, again, Florida went right down the field on them like it was nothing. A&M responded with a 2-play touchdown drive to steal back the momentum. And man, this is the building of potentially a special team down here in College Station.
It is. And again, I told you coming into this, and Elko talks about this after the game, just complimentary football, and nobody's doing it better right now than Texas A&M. It's not just the rushing, it's not just the passing, it's the defense. Everything is just complementary to each other, and they lift each other up when the other departments fail, And I think that's important because we're seeing that every week. That's why we have a different type of win when Texas A&M walks off that football field. But to sit here and act like the Florida Gators are not a good football team, I know they're sitting there 2-4, right? But this is dude, I'm telling you right now, this is a top 20 team. They play like a top 20. This is a quarterback that has gotten better. We're starting to see more and more weapons, VB3 and Trey and Dallas. And I mean, it's just every time I look up, there's a new athlete on that football field. And they made Texas A&M work for this thing. This was a good football game for 3 quarters of it. It's just at the end, those small mistakes, those turnovers that are costly. If Florida's going to get back in this and if they're going to pull off some quote-unquote upsets, they got to play a perfect football game, and they just can't. When they do, they win, like the Texas game. But when they don't, then they lose by multiple scores. So that's just how a fine line they're running down there in Gainesville. And kudos to Texas A&M. This is the first time they've gone 6-0 since, what was the year? I saw some crazy stat.
I think 19.
Yeah, geez.
Or
come
16. It's one or the other.
Yeah, they won a natty that year. Just kidding. But they could this year. This looks like a good football team, Mike.
Hey, shout out Gig'em. Whoop. Hoorah. He gave us $10, Shane. 1,000 college football videos out there, but only 3. You want to talk about the dominance of number 4 Aggies. Best defense in the country. Isn't sexy? Brought to talk about. I don't understand what he's talking about.
But I will
thank
say
you.
defense. Yeah, defense is legit. This game, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
And I thought that was important. And he talks about, the offense was able to lift them up at first. The defense was able to bring them back. So you kind of saw that balance throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was an epic performance. Unfortunately, Le'Veon Moss got injured.
Yeah.
Don't know any information on that currently, but, that's tough. But now we find out about them for real, Shane, because they go on the road. Next 3, they don't have a home game for over a month. Next home game's November 15th. They're at Arkansas, at LSU, and then they go to Missouri, Shane. So that's going to be a damn gauntlet right there. They're not going undefeated. I'll guarantee you, Shane, as good as they've been, they're not going undefeated in that 3-game stretch. I don't think. What percentage would you give them to go undefeated in that 3-game stretch?
I would say 58% right now.
Wow, that's a very strange and specific number.
Yeah, I just
58.
Yeah, I was thinking 50-50, but then I was like, you know what? I'm going to give them a little bit more here. I feel like they could. I mean, I could convince you if we talked long enough by November 15th, they've got 3 more road wins under their belt. So that's not a
but you also sit here and say, well, every Saturday is a challenge, and I'm just saying it's very difficult to go undefeated. You know what I mean?
58%. I didn't give them. I didn't say 70. I didn't say 100. I said 58. I mean, I like those odds.
That sounds like a bet right there.
It's not a bet.
Okay. Now how about Florida? Florida. Shout out Billy Napier. 0-14 on the road against ranked teams. He's 4-14 on the road at Florida. He's 21-23. Worst start for a Gators coach. You ever heard of this guy, Shane? Tom Lieb. Hope I'm saying that right. Back in 1940, 1945.
Yeah.
That's the worst coach since then. So now that James Franklin and all these other guys are getting fired, why in the hell is Billy Napier still employed up down here?
Oh, Lieb. Man, what's he doing these days? Huh? What do you say? I mean,
and I'm not saying like they were so bad he should be fired, but just the overall record is just so horrendous,
But let me ask you this, Mike, because people are getting fired now. Trent Dilfer just lost a job.
Yeah.
James Franklin just lost a job. This is pure chaos. And it's sometimes it's like the housing market, like everybody's selling or everybody's buying. And if everybody's getting rid of their coaches right now, that means we got limited. Like Arkansas had a head start. Now they don't. So what do you think happens here with is that a good thing for Florida or for, let's say, Billy Napier camp? Or is that a bad thing?
That he's still employed?
Yeah, I mean, do you think they keep him? I mean, at the end of the year, is Billy Napier at right now? Obviously, I'm not asking you to predict the next games or stuff.
You know what I think?
Yeah,
I could be totally wrong here.
Yeah.
I think they hate Georgia so much that they want to give they think keeping Billy gives them the best shot at knocking off Georgia. That's what I think, And I don't know whether that's right or wrong, but I think if they lose to Mississippi State, I think they'll fire him during the bye week, which that could rightfully happen. Mississippi State's a good team this year, but if they beat State, they'll have a little bit of momentum, and then I think they're waiting for this Georgia to see how they perform.
Okay, all right, yeah, that makes sense. But still, I mean, I'm looking at all these games. Like I could see Florida winning State. Hell, the way Georgia's playing, I could see there's a chance there too.
Right?
But if they drop that one, then I don't know, man. It's like you're waiting for that game to fire. It'd be Kentucky, right? Mississippi State or Kentucky. Those two, he's fired. If he loses to the other ones, which is probably going to happen, I feel like they keep him toward the end of the year and then make that big decision.
Yeah, but I mean, it sounds like they've already made the decision. So it's like, why are you still keeping them? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But I thought that going into Texas, and then they whooped Texas ass,
Boy, it's fun for a week, wasn't it? It was fun for a week.
Well, speaking about fun for a week, Shane, I don't know if you're going to celebrate this one for a week, but how about that ball, Shane? 34-31 over Arkansas Razorbacks. And Buddy, these teams know anything about defense? I mean, what are we doing here, Shane? I mean, this was if you love offense, this is a game for you to watch. Both these teams going up and down the field. Taylor Green is who we told you he was. He looked like $1 million. Arkansas ran for 1,000,000 yards. Tennessee defense is just, I don't know what the hell's wrong with them, but they turned the ball over. That's about the only nice thing I can say about them. Meanwhile, Arkansas, they're fighting. They're fighting for old Bobby, Shane. They want the motorcycle to remain in Fayetteville. What's your read on this 34-31 win by Tennessee?
Oh, Mike. Let me have that camera for a second. Remember that chant? Defense. Defense. There was none of it. I told you, brother, it looked like I was watching the two worst defenses in the country, and I've never been so angry about a win in my life, because if there were 35 seconds more in that football game, Tennessee would have walked away with an L. And the reason that would have happened is Low T. Heupel struck again, Mike. They had an opportunity. To put this thing away. We're running a damn clock, 6 minutes left. When Arkansas, whenever they have everything clicking on all cylinders, showed you they have no trouble getting to the end zone. I mean, Tennessee about got this one. And I'll say this on the Arkansas side. I saw some really good and I saw some really bad. And the thing that I saw really good was I saw a team come together. Yeah. You know, I was worried. I thought there'd be a little give up here. I mean, they played flawless ball. You know, shockingly, I don't think there was a penalty on Arkansas till the fourth quarter. But that surprised me with that crowd noise. But the fact they were able to come out here and run that offense without missing a beat.
If not for these fumbles, they probably win, don't you think?
Brother, I still have no idea how Tennessee keeps winning these games. It blows my. We're like the opposite of Auburn right now. You know, it's just everything. We're getting all the bad breaks or the good breaks. So but I feel like, Mike, and I'm being honest with you here, I feel like he used it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you used all that momentum and all, we got this, we're going to freaking do this, and then we go to Knoxville and then this happens. I feel like the wheels kind of can come off here. A little bit of that Notre Dame game may emerge with them Razorbacks. I may be wrong, but that's just kind of the vibe I felt.
Now, let's get to the heart of it, though, Shane.
Yeah.
Isn't this usually the perfect spot? I mean, everybody and their mother is going to be picking Alabama.
Yeah.
You can't win at Alabama. Hell, it's been over 20 years. I mean, these are the only times Tennessee wins these games when everybody not with orange blood is going to be picking against them. And Alabama's sky high. Georgia, Vanderbilt undefeated, Missouri undefeated. Here comes lowly Tennessee into our stomping grounds. I mean, are you at all? Do you have any sense of an upset could be brewing here in Tuscaloosa?
I always feel that way, you know, the closer I get to it, you know. But
as of today, how about as of today?
It's pretty low. It's pretty low. And the reason is I feel like Alabama also could have 1,000 yards on us, you know. When I look at Tennessee's schedule moving forward, that's what I look at. It's like, do they have a tough offense? And Alabama, yes. That's why I like Kentucky, right? Kentucky ain't going to score 100 points, so we should win that one. Oklahoma can. John Mateer may be healthy. I think Billy Napier with all, hell, he'd love to have one. Vanderbilt sure hell can. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 potential losses on your schedule. However, I say all that to say this, Mike. There's also an opportunity that you start winning these games, and it's surprising. I feel like you got Alabama in a perfect spot because they're not afraid of Tennessee. And they should be, but they're not. They feel like, hey, man, we just went on the road. We got a top 10 win. You know, our shit don't stink. And look at all those holes. That's what drove me nuts is Mike Washington Jr. comes out and says, look at all these holes. We're going to have a field day. And Tennessee's like, put it in the locker room. We got this. And then what does Mike Washington do? He comes out here and finds those damn holes. So if he can find them, you better believe damn Alabama's going to find them.
Right. I thought that would be motivation. I think it was motivation for Arkansas because they came in fired up. So let me ask you that. After this performance, I know it was a loss.
Yeah.
Are you any more confident that Bobby Petrino keeps the job? Because they were playing hard for his ass.
No. Okay. I think again, and I'm not piling on Arkansas here, but I felt like this was your shot. The teams, they matched up well. I'm kind of with you on the defense. I think Bobby P made a mistake by getting rid of that staff, that defensive staff coming into this one, because they were the ones that gave Tennessee a hard time last year. But you got A&M, you've got some very losable games and potential games to get blown out. And so, yeah, I feel like Bobby P had a shot and he lost it.
All right. How about this one, Shane? Another conference game and a win for LSU, 20-10. And you want to talk? You were talking some ugly football, Shane. And, I rewatched. This is the first time I fell asleep on a rewatch on a Sunday this season, Shane. LSU and South Carolina. Buddy, this was not pretty football. This was two teams that, well, you know, to LSU's credit, they had some explosive plays. South Carolina did as well, but it seemingly, aside from the explosive plays, neither one could do much of anything. Nussmeier threw a couple picks, including a horrendous red zone interception. There was another, I believe, a fumble right there on the goal line. That really kind of kept South Carolina in this football game. But, man, I don't know. I mean, LSU is like top 10 in the country. Their fans are like irate because I rated them 11th in the SEC. I didn't see much of a difference between these two. I think the difference was playing at home at night. And if this game was in Williams-Brice, I think South Carolina wins it. I think while LSU's got everything in front of them, they're 5-1, they're 2-1 in the conference. I mean, if they play like this, they're going to lose every one of these damn games, aside from Western Kentucky and maybe Arkansas. But the rest are all losable. They don't look like top 10 in the SEC, nonetheless top 10 in the country. To me, am I overreacting here?
No, but I did. Again, it's just flashes. You saw flashes. Like Trey'Dez Green may be the best player in the country right now. And if they could find ways to get him 20 targets a game, then I can be convinced LSU can win, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many times they can remind me he's 6'7", but he is just an absolute freak athlete, and South Carolina never would like to see a guy like that again. But, you know, here's a South Carolina football team that had opportunities, man. I mean, it kind of surprised me. I'm trying to figure out who's more upset, like LSU fans, because you get in the red zone and you find ways to throw an interception or fumble the football. It's like this could have been a 40-10 game, I felt like. But then you look at South Carolina, they too had opportunities to kind of quiet this crowd, get back into it, and they just weren't able to capitalize. So brother, I don't know. South Carolina frustrates me. We bitch and moan about them not running the football, and then when they do, they're like, well, we forgot how to pass. You know, it's like, what? If I told you South Carolina would have what do they have on this one? 193 yards rushing, and LSU would have 3 turnovers, I would gamble. I'd give you everything I own that South Carolina went down there and got a win, yet they didn't.
Right. And then I also forgot to mention there was a fake punt.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That South Carolina executed quite well, and they converted it, but the refs stopped it mid-play, and it was such a weird sequence where the ref went to the punter, seemingly got it cleared, and he started backing up.
Yeah.
And here's Beamer. I mean, he gives us the best reactions here. What happened there, Shane Beamer?
I was told that they were holding it and wasn't ready to snap. But in 26 years of coaching, Phil, I've never seen normally, to me, the center judge stands over the ball, and there was nobody standing over the ball, and the referee had his hands out, and then he backed out of there. So I don't know how the punter, the personal protector who's making the call, and the snapper are supposed to know don't snap it when the referee is standing behind the punter. Somebody's got to explain that one to me because I have no idea.
Was he about to drop an F-bomb here, Shane? What was going on?
God, that wall in his office must be, I mean, I mean, does he have any room left to write those officials' names on there? So, brother, I thought it was a bullshit call. There was a lot of that this weekend. Officiating took a massive step back. Massive. Yeah. I mean, they have all season, but this was just, I don't even know what this is. This is just embarrassing. And
I don't think it would have changed the outcome. I should say that because Carolina got a first on it.
Yeah.
They would have went 3 and out probably right after that.
Exactly. So I'm not. I like you said, this didn't win or lose the game, but I did watch it and I was wondering, like, what's the flag for? I still never understood in the moment why there was a penalty on, and I don't know. It felt like moments like that is the only way South Carolina was going to win this game. So say that for what it's worth. They did kind of steal that from them, but yeah, this was still a sloppy football game. Maybe the sloppiest of them all. But yeah, I feel like who's more upset right now, Mike? South Carolina fans or LSU fans with a win?
I think Carolina.
Yeah,
I think so, and particularly because they're just so inept, you know. Yeah. And they came out here on Sunday. They fired the offensive line coach Lonnie Tisley. So that was the last thing I wanted to say about him. But this was a winnable game.
Yeah,
you know, we've made note of this schedule. Of course, Oklahoma maybe they're going to collapse. Maybe that's your next winnable. But after that, Bama. At least you get them at home. At Ole Miss, haven't lost all year. At A&M, haven't lost all year. You can beat Coastal, I'll give you that. And then, by God, you better beat Clemson. Yeah. Otherwise, they'll never let you hear the end of it. But because they're awful too. But this is a nightmare schedule for Beamer and company.
Well, and Beamer did talk after the game, saying, "Hey, we were in the same spot last year. Remember, we were 3-3, just barely lost to Alabama. So." I mean, you never know. You never know.
All right, last game, Shane, you said sloppy. I think this was the sloppiest here. 24-21. Ole Miss woke up. I guess they hit the snooze a couple times here, Shane. Washington State gave him a ball game, and do not think this was one of these where it's like the final score was pretty deceiving. Like Washington State, they scored 14 in the fourth quarter, made it look close. No, sir, that is not how this game played out. I mean, I truly never thought that they were going to lose this game, but Washington State was up 14-10 in the third quarter, and Washington State had the ball to win the damn game at the end of it, and they didn't get it done. Ole Miss, sleepy as hell. First drive, turnover on downs. They missed a field goal. They had the fumble. This was the worst performance by Trinidad yet, and it not like he was like awful or anything, but. He was getting asked after the game, did you consider making the switch? He was 20 of 29, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, but it just wasn't pretty. I will give it to Kywin Lacey. He was awesome. A career-high 142 rushing yards. He's the reason Ole Miss won this football game. But there was a lot of penalties, a lot of stupid nonsense that it was just, one team got up for this game and one team didn't, and it nearly cost Lane Kiffin, and I never would have not called him Lane Whiffen had they lost this one.
And I don't blame you. This was an ugly one, man. And I think there were 170 yards worth of penalties in this game. So another tough watch, Felt like Jefferson Pilot sports type game, and you're just like, oh, shit, this is going to come down the wire. It shouldn't have, but these are the games that have snuck up and got Lane in the past, and it snuck up, but it didn't get him this time. So I don't know if that's progress, but, sometimes a football team needs this, a little bit of that humble pie, because they're going to be teams that you go against, and maybe it's Oklahoma, maybe it's South Carolina, Florida, or Mississippi State. I think they've got a very obtainable schedule to get them to the college football playoffs, but they can drop some of these games along the way, and now it's nice to have a Kentucky 2.0 that you can point back and say, hey, this is how close we were to losing this thing.
Right. And then, they're not going to care, Shane, because they won. They love their coach, but the rest of the SEC, they're going to get on your ass when you shit the bed in a game like this. And then what's your message? Basically, call out your fans.
You alluded to it in the opening statement. finding a better way to approach these 11 a.m. kicks. Could you sense, how did you feel the energy was pregame with the team?
I don't know. You know, we're a morning practice format team that should equate to playing well in the morning. Used to. But didn't feel like that. I thought our red zone offense showed up about like our student section did today. Very similar. So.
If the students showed up, maybe they would have won by 20 points. Even though it was a 33-point spread, you won by 3. You know what I mean? I don't know, but maybe it's the students' fault.
Oh, I don't know, man. And listen, Linda, I hate it because you have a top 5 football team, and any of these, I could name 12 other SEC teams that if they were in the top 5, that damn place would be packed. And if it was Washington State or ETSU, they would be there to watch them. And so I get what Lane's saying, because you got to remember where Lane's been, right? He's been at Neyland. You know, he's been down to Alabama. He knows what it's like when that place is rocking. And I'm watching a Washington State game, and we even talked about it. We were doing our watch party, and I saw this huge section. I thought maybe that's where the band was, and I was like, oh, no, that's where the students are supposed to be. So I can't blame Lane for calling out the fans here.
Hey, shout out Bobby G. Washington State plays better without Mateer. Damn it, that was the ultimate troll.
Damn.
All right, last thing, Shane.
Yes.
And buddy, I wasn't lying about these games. Opening lines here for week 8. And wouldn't you know it, Shane? Every single one of them a conference matchup. So, all right, guess the opening lines here, buddy, for mighty Texas, Shane. At Kentucky, who's coming off a bye. What's the spread? Texas at Kentucky.
Texas 13.5.
You were closer the first time. 12. Texas favored by 12 on the road. Which arch shows up? All right, how about A&M, Shane, at Arkansas? Getting on this road bender here. Texas A&M at Arkansas. What's the opening line?
Texas A&M 11.
8.
Shit. Okay. We got a ball game on the road. I like it.
How about Mizzou, Shane, coming off their first loss of the season at Auburn. Auburn needs a win in the worst way. Could be the final game of the U-Freeze era if they don't get it. Missouri at Auburn. What's the spread?
1.5 Mizzou.
Auburn 3.
Oh.
All right. How about Mississippi State, Shane, coming off a bye?
Uh-huh.
They are at Florida. Mississippi State at Florida. What's the opening line?
I'll say Florida 4.5.
10.
Damn.
Lock of the week. No.
Damn. Something happening up there in Starkville I didn't know about.
Not that I'm aware of. All right, how about LSU, Shane? Mighty LSU on the road at arrested Vanderbilt. LSU at Vanderbilt. What's the spread?
I'd say LSU 3.5.
Pick 'em.
Oh, come on now.
Brian Kelly, this is the year. Pick 'em against Vanderbilt.
What if I told you 5 years ago, after a national championship, there's going to be a day, they're going to be a pick 'em in Nashville with Vanderbilt?
I wouldn't believe it. All right, how about Oklahoma, Shane, on the road at South Carolina? Oklahoma at South Carolina. What's the opening line?
Oklahoma 1.5.
4.
Okay, man, what? So many freaking good games.
Okay. Alabama. Speaking of good games, Shane, hosting Tennessee. Tennessee at Alabama. What's the line?
Tennessee 17.5. Yeah, just kidding. I'd say Bama 6.5.
8.
Okay. Yeah, it's a terrible bet.
And then last, maybe the best game of the season to date, Ole Miss at Georgia. Kirby's going to be clapping. It's his spread.
Give me Georgia. I pick them. Give me a pick 'em here.
Georgia by 6.
Okay, nice. Is game day? Have they? I'm sure
Game
they
days
announced it.
in Athens, in SEC Nation, and down in Tuscaloosa.
Oh man, I could hear them clapping right now. Come on, baby.
Hey, and then I've been keeping track of this too, Shane. So I don't want these to go unnoticed.
Yes.
Shout out Steven Up. He gifted Gavin G 123. Gavin,
Welcome to the family.
Junior JR. Excuse me. God,
Oh,
Junior.
shit.
JR. I just pulled a Shane. Shout out JR. He gifted Spinner 391. Spinner.
Welcome to the family.
Remember
The
those
legend.
spinner wheels?
Oh yeah,
I wanted those so bad.
We bought. They had some like real cheap ones at Walmart, and we didn't tell our buddy, and we switched out two that he couldn't see. So he's just driving in the passenger side of these cheap ass spinners.
Shout out Stacy. Gifted 5 memberships.
Hell
Shane.
yeah, Stacy.
Nick Browley, Schuler Hurt. Hope I got that right. Tony Robbins gargling marbles. Kirk Vickery and Cal Sweat.
Welcome to the family.
Courtesy of Stacy Jackson.
That's why you're not blocked, Stacy.
And then JR gifted another one.
The
Shane.
legend.
To Horns, 7 Horns.
Welcome to the family.
And Just Jared got Arkansas Skywatcher.
Ooh.
Arkansas, welcome
to the
family.
Jared hates that an Arkansas fan got that one.
And we had a couple supers here. Shane, JD, War Damn Eagle. Vegas and the rest have already planned next weekend's slate of games. Good luck to all to make sure you have paid your reps. Truffle Shuffle gave us $5. Which SEC team picks up James Franklin? I don't want him, do you?
No, I don't. And honestly, I hope
He's
he never
got you
comes
blocked,
back.
right?
Yeah. I DM right now and tell him, do not come to Southeastern Conference. He's going to take a year off, enjoy some of that money. He's got the second highest buyout next to Jimbo Fisher, so he'll be fine. Don't worry about him. But I think eventually, maybe I have no idea. I really don't want him back here.
What if you think Arkansas would take him?
Well, I don't think he jumps right back into coaching. I feel like he takes a year, probably gets one of these news shows or whatever, and then gets back into it. So the Arkansas job will be, filled up by now. So I'm trying to think a year.
How about Kentucky?
That's
I
possible.
think at Kentucky
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good hire for them.
Yeah, bring up some new
blood.
Yeah. They came up
yeah.
the anchors down. You remember they used to bring the anchors in and stuff. That he may come up with something funny like that for Lexington.
He could be the guy that everybody hates. He would thrive in that role.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And Kentucky would love it, I think.
Yeah, do it. That's a good one.
Do it. We're just casting Mark Stoops out of here. Truffle Shuffle gave us another one. Auburn over-under was 7.5. Time to get back to reality. This was expected, not the results of bad breaks. Was it 7.5? I feel like that's way too high. I think it was 6.5.
Yeah, I think it was, but I have no idea.
Either way, they're going under. Carl Kirby Forever Tea. Tea clapping. Chase, appreciate you. I was just depressed inside furrow yesterday, but we move on. Which teams looked least impressive in wins and most impressive in the losses this week? To me, Ole Miss and Arkansas.
Least impressive in win is Tennessee.
I'll go LSU there.
Most impressive in loss, I'd probably go Auburn. I felt like they should have had that one.
I would say Washington State. I don't think that's what he's going. How about Mizzou?
The more I think about it, I probably should go Florida Gators.
Okay.
No. That's that end of the second half. Yeah, I'm going to stick with them. I'll stick with Auburn here.
And then I think is the last one here. Silver Spur Sicko. Brent Venables crying to the SEC about blocks in the back, but it was okay with a fluke play out Auburn. I guess they were mad about that punt return. You know what?
Oh yeah, nobody's. He has a get. I don't trust coaches that have get back coaches. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a grown ass man. You need somebody else to grab your belt and tell you to get back on the sideline. Get the hell out of here, coach.
Hey, shout out cousin Rick.
Hey, cousin
Shane.
Rick.
He's celebrating being 6-0.
It's Texas A&M's biggest fan, Cousin Rick. Gig 'em, Aggies.
Respect to Florida. Giga Maggies beat the
hell out of
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
And then Austin Blazer. He. I'm not
jeez.
I'm not writing that one.
Bring it down. Bring it down. That one got past the goalie.
We do appreciate the $5 though. All right, buddy. Anything else before we hop off the line?
No, I want to get the shout outs, JP, working on that one. So just remember, if you do donate, just to put your team on there so JP knows exactly who he keeps up with all this. It's a hard working man doing a lot of work for us. So today's shout outs, they're going to go to, here we got pulled up. Today's shout outs go to Rolls Royce. Cousin JR, Stephen Up, Brandon Rotary, John Lee, Stacy Jackson, Gig'em Whoop, Oorah, Silver Spur Sicko, Chase Moore, Just Jared, Carl Junkins, The Truffle Shuffle, JD, WDE, Cousin Rick, and Austin Blazer. Thank you for being a real legend, and thank you, JP, for everything you've done. Same thing with Stephen Up. Thank you, cousins. Appreciate everything. Be sure to hit that thumbs up on the way out. Don't forget, bright and early in the morning, we're going to get up. I got some more coaches' comments for you at 7:30. We're going to talk a little SEC football and the chaos that happened this weekend. So I look forward to seeing everybody bright and early. So grab your coffee or vodka or whatever you need to get the party started, and I'll see you there.
All right, I can't wait. We appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right, see you guys. Go Vols.
Hey, buddy, this beer's for you, Mike, and Cousin Shane. That SEC podcast loves the Pirate, and the Pirate loves that SEC podcast. Hail State.